Yeah, they try to put me in a box I don't fit. Try to make me blend in, I won't quit. God made me on purpose with intention. Every quirk, every flaw is part of the mission. They say I'm too much and not enough. Too loud, too quiet, too soft, too tough. But I was crafted by the master's hand. They don't understand, but that wasn't the plan.
Hello. Are your words healing or hurting? Like, have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling cut? Or have you been the one that left someone else walking away from a conversation feeling cut? Not physically, but emotionally. And maybe you've had moments where someone walked away, like I said, from you feeling cut. So today, I want to talk about something that calls for healing and self-awareness. And that is, are your words hurting? Welcome. If this is your first time joining me, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you are returning, welcome, welcome back home. My name's Melinda, Coach Melinda, but I go by Melinda. And this is where faith, healing, and emotional wellness all kind of interconnects. And so far, we've talked about grief, we've talked about heartbreak and trauma. But healing isn't just about surviving the pain. It's also about making sure our unhealed pain doesn't spill over into others. Because we all know that hurt people hurt people. There is a saying, hurt people hurt people. But healed people help people. So let's get into it. We're going to be breaking down wholeness versus brokenness, okay? So let me be gentle and say this. We're going to be talking about wholeness versus brokenness. So like the lack of wholeness in us can create brokenness in someone else. Let's think about it like this. A whole glass can quench your thirst. But that same glass, if it was broken and shattered, it could cut you. I know, something to think about, right? I'm going to say it again. Think of my bottled water as a glass. A whole glass can quench your thirst. But if this was a glass, an actual glass, and it fell and shattered and broke, this same glass could cut you. Just cut. And so when we think of it, our words are the same way. You guys know I love analogies. So words can heal and words can cut. When we are whole, our words nourish. They build people up. They help empower people. They're good. They're good for the good of the people. But when you are wounded and unexamined, and your words, they can wound. When you don't examine yourself and see that, hey, I'm not in a good place right now. I probably shouldn't say that. Or I probably should wait and maybe think about how I'm going to say that. Because when you're wounded and unexamined, your words can hurt. Not because you mean to, though. Not all the time. Some people don't even mean to do it. But because pain leaks. Have you ever heard of that saying where people say, don't go bleeding all on somebody else? Like after you've been hurt and you haven't did the work, they'll say, you'll bleed all over other people if you don't get yourself healed. Basically, that means that hurt that you felt, you'll turn it around on somebody who had nothing to do with. Because pain leaks. And again, you may not have even meant to do it, but it just happens because if there's no healing, it leaks. So let's talk about the power of the tongue. Proverbs 18:21 says, "Death and life are in the power of the tongue." Your mouth carries weight. So are you building someone up or tearing down their confidence? Are you correcting in love or reacting from an irritant? Like you're just irritated and you're just snapping off. Also, remember, too, words can hurt so bad that just because you don't put your hands on someone doesn't mean that your words aren't so harmful. Because sometimes words, they stick with you. Oh, they stick with you because the thing is that once you put it out there, you can't take it back. It's already out there. Yep. So just think about it. Like your tone can leave a bruise. Like if you're somebody that's hooping and hollering through the house and tearing people down and getting loud all the time, or you out in public and you're embarrassing people in public, that so much so they don't even want to take you around no friends or family or take you to like any events outside because you cutting up so much, that's a clue that you probably need to kind of watch your words. Also, sarcasm can cut. We've all been guilty of that. Mm, Mr. Know It All. Miss Know It All. I thought you knew how to do this. Mm, don't look like you know what you're doing to me. I need a real man. Or, I need a real woman. Like words, be careful. You gotta be careful. And constant criticism can erode. If you constantly criticizing somebody and they can't do nothing good, everything is bad. Well, you should have did it this way. Well, why didn't you do it that way? Or, if it was me, I would have did this. And, you can't do nothing right. I told you to cook this at 4. Here it is 6 o'clock. I'm just now eating. But are you eating? Look at it that way. Some people not even getting a meal. Okay? So ask yourself, is the condition of my mouth producing life or producing harm? Go on and tell me in the comments, which one is it? Does your mouth produce life or does it produce harm? Be honest. We can't change what we don't acknowledge. That's what we're about on this channel. We're growing. Sometimes it stings, but that's how we grow. Now let's talk about pride and listening. So Proverbs 26:12 says, "Do you see a person wise in their own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for them." And that's a strong scripture. Let me read that again. Do you see a person wise in their own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than them. Essentially, it's saying, can't nobody tell you nothing. If this not you specifically, but whoever this is referring to, like if they're acting like, if you know somebody that can't nobody tell them nothing, they know everything. Oh, they know it all. And sometimes, guess what? They loud and wrong. But no, you can't tell them nothing because they know everything. Well, if you know everything, you don't have any room for improvement anywhere. According to you, we all can learn something. We learn something new every day. We could learn something new every day if we listen. That's why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, because we need to be able to listen and learn. Okay? But again, that scripture, woo, Do you see a person wise in their own eyes? There is more hope for a fool than for them. It's what the Bible said, y'all. It's not me saying it. So then the next question is, are you always the teacher and never the student? Goes right back to what I just said. We all could learn something. Nobody knows everything. Nobody knows every single thing. So that's another question. Like when you're doing self-reflection and this stuff that we talk about, this is meant for us to grow. It's not harm. It's not, I'm never going to be negative, like downing on anybody because, hey, we're all learning. I'm learning stuff all the time too. I learn all the time and I always stretch myself. I love personal development, so I'm always trying to grow. And so that's what we're doing on this channel, growing. And you have to look within to see, hey, is this something I need to change? Again, we can't change what we don't acknowledge, right? So another question is, we'll back up to the one we just had, which was, are you always the teacher and never the student? Do you listen to understand or only to respond? So what that looks like is, say you are in a conversation with someone and you guys are talking or whatever, or sometimes it may get a little heated, or whatever the case may be, and you're talking and the person is just acting like they're listening, but they're waiting on that pause. Soon as you give that pause, that's their cue to just jump right in. And then have you noticed, like, they'll start answering whatever they thought the question was or what they thought you were saying, and it's not even what you said, but because they were listening, just waiting to respond and not seeking understanding, now they then lost the whole point, and here you go arguing again because that's not what you're talking about. You're on two different pages with the conversation. So it's important to try to seek understanding and listen to understand, not just to respond, not just waiting like, yeah, nah, I ain't said that. No, I didn't. And you said, I said this, and that. And the last time 10 years ago, you did this and that. And I remember way back when. Why aren't we talking about that? Okay, but that was not what the conversation was about right now. That is not what we were talking about. You just sat there and was ready. You had that waiting on deck to get that conversation in, and that's not what it's about. So that's what this is talking about. Do you listen to understand or only to respond? Some people don't truly listen when you speak, but blame you when you walk away. Well, the Bible also says don't argue with fools. And why am I sit up here and argue with you if you're not listening? You're not taking what I have to say to heart. You're not considering my feelings. It's like you're talking to yourself then because they're not listening. So, and then when somebody gets fed up and they're like, okay, this is just, I'm hitting my head on a brick wall. I'm good. I'm done. Then they blame you. Oh, you not mature enough, or you walking away, or you don't want to stick it out. Oh, I stuck it out a long time. But you weren't listening. You weren't listening. And when you were listening, you weren't seeking to understand and see where I'm coming from. Or tell me where you're coming from in a mature way, emotionally intelligent way, where we're not tearing each other down. Okay? That's what this is saying. So it's not healthy communication because nobody's getting their points across. And every time somebody's arguing and elevating, the other person's not really listening to understand. They're listening to get their turn in so they can get going on this conversation. So it's not healthy, and that leads to toxicity in relationships and communication. It could be not even like romantic relationships, but just communication in general. This can follow people on the job, um, family relationships, romantic relationships. I've seen people at work with this same thing, coming in the office, hooping and hollering and all that, and don't understand why, they got this on their review or whatever the case may be. Put a situation in there. They don't understand it. They're going all off, and you didn't do this for everybody else. But the bottom line is you didn't meet the bare minimum. I mean, let's start there. Or if you were acting a fool on the job, and we have patients in the waiting room and they're seeing you clown out here, I'm not writing you up. I'm just writing on the paper what you did with your behavior. You did this. I just put it on the paper. So I'm sorry. So how's that me? Again, that's that not listening, just seeking, you didn't write everybody else up when they did this. How would you know? Because just like you, it's your story. Tell it how you want to. Did you or did you not cuss up here in front of the patients? Did you not curse your coworker out? Or were you late to work? Did you miss work? When your shift started at 8 o'clock and you're sneaking on the side door at 8:30, 8:45. Are you over there eating? You supposed to be at lunch for 30 minutes. You done took an hour and a half to 2 hours. What did you want? What were you expecting? So see, all this not even listening to understand, just ready to just pop off. So it's not healthy. It's not healthy. Peace cannot grow where pride dominates. Okay, I'll say that again. Peace cannot grow where pride dominates. Healing requires humility. So let's talk about maturity and response. Proverbs 25:21 through 22 reminds us, if your energy is hungry, sorry. Clearly I need some energy. If your enemy is hungry, give him food to eat. Now that's maturity. That is maturity. Yep. Talked about, like I was saying the other day, with helping people get promoted, because that's what I was supposed to do. Regardless of how they felt about me, regardless of what they talked about me behind my back, all this, hey, that's not my that's not my concern. That's outside of my circle of influence. It's in my circle of concern. I hear it, but I used to tell people I don't have to go on with you. Don't matter to me. It's not personal. So, anyways, but feeding somebody that's hungry or doing something for someone when you know they were an enemy or mistreated you or did certain things, maturity. Now, I'm not saying be like, somebody just like dogged you out or was physically, all that stuff hitting or anything like that. I'm not talking about go run the world and go do all this stuff. I'm just saying, just like in general. In general. So, maturity is also choosing not to react from a wounded ego. It doesn't mean you tolerate mistreatment, though. That's what I was just saying. It means you refuse to become what hurt you. You don't tolerate the mistreatment, but you refuse to become what hurt you or like the people that hurt you. Boundaries and kindness can coexist. Sure can. So I use that a lot, guys. In a heartbeat, because I am the block queen. I'm not about to sit up and argue with somebody that, again, is a non-factor in all this stuff that's unnecessary. But somebody's hungry or something like that, and I can help them. If I had, whatever, and they were hungry, or like I said, I'll still do my job because it's not personal. It's not personal. But we're not gonna go hang out. We're not going to eat together. We're not going to anything, period, outside of what I need to do. But I'll still be nice about it. But I'm just not gonna put myself in those ridiculous situations. Emotional responsibility. Here's the truth. If you have unprocessed pain, it will show up in your tone. If you are insecure, it will show up in ways of like control. If you're bitter, it will show up in sarcasm. Healing is not just about feeling better, okay? It's not just about that. It's about becoming safer for the people that's all around you and providing safety for other people too, as well as yourself. Because when you're healed, you feel good. You do feel like, woohoo, like you're not stressed out and all that. It's not just about, oh, I feel better like this, but it's just like it's a being, like you can shake and move more. It's like you have more clarity. You have less stress, like all of that. It's about becoming safer for the people around you and for you. So protecting your peace also means protecting the peace of others. Because I'm not going to come wreaking havoc on somebody. I like peace. So I'm not about to come and just be a tornado to somebody else, because I don't even like living like that. I'm like off balance and off kilter. If my house is like not peaceful, I cannot function like that. Like I need regulation. So I'm not about to do that to somebody else either. Like come in their house or around them and just wreak havoc. So no. So in closing, before your next difficult conversation, do me a favor. Promise you're going to do this. Just pause and ask, am I speaking from wholeness or from hurt? Remember, life and death are in the power of the tongue. And peace flows from a healed heart. That concludes our message. If this message spoke to you, like, share, and subscribe for our faith-based encouragement, healing, and peace. And as always, I'm sending you peace, love, joy, and happiness. Let's live a peaceful life together. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope this message